Hello all, good afternoon. Happy to be here talking about a very interesting topic on a day, on 2 days that we have invested on talking about AI and how it's touching all of us. So, the human machine collaboration, that's the topic that I have for today. And today we are standing in the crossroads of two worlds, the realm of human creativity and intuition, and on the other end, we have the domain of machine precision and processing power. Right? Let's look at a few things. It's a very beautiful painting. In the summer of 2022, a board game designer by name Jason Allen created national news by winning a prize in Colorado's art competition. And this was the painting that he submitted. It was titled Theatre Opera Spatial. And the judges were impressed. He won the prize. But that's not all, right? He made even bigger headlines for the method that he adopted to come up with this beautiful artwork. And that method did not go well with critics and other artists. He had used a Gen AI-based tool which took simple human language inputs and created this unique, beautiful picture, right? People they were very outraged. They said this is the death of artistry, and they said this is the literal meaning of pressing a few buttons to come up with a unique art piece. And of course, he did spend a lot of time. He said, I'm not an artist, I'm an author of this image. But the point is, times are changing. The way humans interact with technology to create beautiful pieces of art is going to be the future. Of course, people will continue to draw. That's not going to go away. But it's not just art, right? While what we see here is something beautiful to our eyes, human-machine collaboration is pretty much touching every sphere of life. Let's look at a few of them before we dwell into the topic of skills that matter. I come from the auto industry. We build cars, and I've been with them for the last 10 years, but in the last few years, the way these emerging technologies has revolutionized the way we build and sell cars is just mind-blowing. Today, our entire production floors run in a very synchronized fashion where humans and machines are working together, right? When I say that, what do I mean? We have robots which are actually using computer technologies, AI vision technologies to detect defects in production plants, which then inspectors come and validate, thereby ensuring quality products are coming out of the line. Most of you know today that inside a car there are hundreds of ECUs. Basically, a car is almost becoming like a computer, a data center on wheels. That being the case, a running car generates about 25 GB of data every hour. So what happens to all of this data? These data that is coming out of these cars are processed by real-time AI agents which are helping us predict failures in running cars, which is helping urban planners coming up with good city infrastructure. So all of this is happening thanks to the human and the machine collaboration that is happening in the car industry. If you take a regular software developer, today they have real-time companions. People are having Microsoft Copilots and GitHub Copilots, which are nothing but pair programming tools, which is helping us give code snippets, which developers are able to refine and integrate, increasing productivity, improving quality, bringing in efficiencies. Take the case, we saw some beautiful cases of how the medical industry is using these technologies to detect very, very fine discrepancies in mammogram images, right? The Google's medical imaging AI systems says, one of this metrics says that they are able to catch anomalies which a human person, a human doctor, will take at least 6 to 8 months for it to grow before a human doctor is able to identify an anomaly in a mammogram. These are not limited to medical sciences or arts or car industry. In every industry around us, these collaborations happen where the beauty of a human mind, creativity, making good decisions, judgment, ethical oversight, all of that are brought to the table, and the machine brings in the power of processing enormous amount of data, recognizing patterns. So in this context, we are walking along two paths. One, a path where a human has walked in the past, and a path which new age industry, the AI industry is paving for us. It is not that we can choose to walk in one of those paths. We have to learn to walk in both these things together. And the beauty of this is it is not about resistance or surrender to one or to the other, but it is about bringing synergies between these two paths. So in this context, talking about skills that matter, right? Today, every one of you will come from a particular industry or an organization, and we are all arming our forces with digital skills, AI fluency, data literacy. People are beginning to line up to learn low code, no code. How do I use it? Even before teenagers are familiarizing with their regular mathematic problems, parents are putting them on Python classes, right? All of this is happening. But I truly believe that beyond these kind of skills, there are other important elements that we need to fully comprehend to unleash the true power of human machine collaboration. And in my mind, these are those three skills. Okay, coming back, we spoke about it. The first is adaptive intelligence, right? What do I mean by adaptive intelligence? Traditional intelligence, traditional learning is all about mastering fixed knowledge, right? There is a curriculum, there is a course, we study that. But adaptive intelligence is the ability to learn, unlearn, relearn in a continuously evolving tech space, right? I recently read a report. The Global Economic Forum said that 50% of the technical skills that a person picks up in the first year of the 4-year degree program becomes obsolete or redundant by the time he or she finishes the course. So that is the pace in which the technology space is evolving, right? So given that context, the only way to continue to grow and leverage the best out of the current times is to have the mindset to continuously pick up new things. So in my organization where I come from, some of the best go-to people are not the ones who have scored well in the past or who have delivered big projects, but these are the ones who are able to bring their expertise and apply it on the newer frameworks on a continual basis. The ones who are willing to quickly adapt, rewire themselves, and apply and move ahead and rally people along with them. So this is absolutely important in this current context, adaptive intelligence, that we don't stay where we are. We pick up the skills that are needed to move forward on a continuous basis. The second one is also a very important skill, critical thinking. I mean, these might seem like, oh, we've heard it all, but I'll tell you why these are all very important, right? We spoke about how the computers, the machines are processing enormous amount of data in microseconds. They can study patterns. But we as humans have a very unique ability to ask fundamental questions like why, what if, which however well-trained models that we have cannot compare to the questions that we can ask and the challenges that we can pose, right? On this question, right, if we just rewind a little bit and go back to our school days, our learning was all focused on answering questions. That is what we were all taught. We were taught, and then we were all asked to answer the questions. I think there is a serious need to revisit our learning infrastructure rather than educating our children to answer questions. Even from that age, we should challenge them and teach them to ask questions. Ask questions at a young age so that as they grow, this critical thinking quality, which is an absolute essential in the modern world, grows in them. So here again, I will give you something which I read about very recently. Finland is a very progressive country. Finland is very progressive in many ways, but they are also very progressive in the way they look at education. And few years back, they did a complete overhaul of their education system. And it was based on a 4C principle. So they said that while some of the basic subjects that we've always learnt will continue to be there, but almost all of their learning will revolve around 4Cs, which is communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. I mean, how beautiful is that, right? So I think there is a big call for action in our education framework, both in schools and colleges and in our corporate environment, to have this element. uh, we have to pay attention to this, right? Without this element, we will not be able to move forward because challenging status quo is the need of the hour. And the last one is another important thing, technological empathy. And what do I mean by that? While we saw many use cases about how humans and machines collaborate and create magic, it is also important to understand where do we draw the line as to how do we allocate what does the machine do, what does a human do. I mean, today it would be very silly to expect a calculator to write a poem or a poet to do a very complex math problem, right? So just as we know that, I think it's very important to understand what are the possibilities and the limitations of AI models and use it at in the right place with the right level of wisdom. The other important element of technological empathy is as humans, we operate with certain biases. I mean, many times it's a very unconscious bias. Not that anyone wants to behave in a very biased fashion. It's an unconscious bias that comes come to the front when we operate. And knowingly or unknowingly, because of the data sets that we create and the models that we do, this bias is translated to many of the AI models that come out. So technological empathy is also about being aware that some of these machines, the AI models that we create, could also have biases and be very conscious about the data that we feed into them so that both humans and the machines operate in a very level playing field. So, in a summary, I truly believe the technical skills can be picked up very easily. You can learn programming languages, you can learn Python, you can learn data visualization tools, all of that. There are enough number of programs and platforms to learn, but these skills are very different. And I truly believe that these skills will make a big difference and go a very long way to make this collaboration between humans and machines a very, very successful one. We have a big opportunity in front of us to shape the future, to redefine how this can enhance humanity as against diminishing humanity. So I think we can all play a big role in this collaborative space. And thank you very much for the opportunity and giving me a chance to share my thoughts. Thank you.